I love your character, Natalie.
Thank
I
you.
thought she was so charming. The movie was so fun. Now, had you read the books ahead of time, or was this something you did in preparation?
Well, I booked the film when I was in Baton Rouge filming Bonnie and Clyde, and then after I wrapped Bonnie and Clyde, I flew to LA, did some laundry, repacked, and the next day flew out to London. So there wasn't much time in between projects, but I read the first book while filming the movie, and it's so wonderful. So I didn't, at first, at least in the very beginning of filming, I didn't have both sides to Natalie. So I tried to portray as much as Daniel Waters had written and as much as I had read so far along in the book from Rochelle. But then I really wanted to add my own twist to Natalie and my own interpretation of her.
Well, there's a humor that's unique to you as Sarah. But I'm curious, what elements of her did you relate to, given that she's sort of shy and awkward, and you were homeschooled till you were in 2nd grade and then moved to LA when you were 18. So did you sort of feel a companionship with her in those areas?
But Natalie is just, when you first meet her, she's just so lovable and unfortunate, and you just kind of feel bad. It's almost kind of, I don't want to say charity, but it's kind of like a pity party when it comes to Natalie. So, I don't know. I feel like the things that I relate to her mostly is I ramble a lot. My stories kind of go off track, and I talk really fast at times, and I do make weird facial expressions in real life, but I don't think I do it to the extreme that I did it with Natalie. At least I hope.
And you don't wear glasses.
I do wear glasses.
You do?
I do wear glasses. My left eye is like everything's blurry, but God, people are gonna screen cap that and tweet it to me, and I'm just gonna deal with it.
Exactly. So there's a scene where you have to lick blood off of the wall to find out whose blood it is.
Yes.
So what was the blood? What was wearing those fangs like?
Those fangs were awesome. They were just little like pop-on fangs on like your teeth. They weren't like any of like the retainer kind of stuff. So they were really easy. And then the blood was made of like probably like cornstarch and food dye and everything like that.
Disgusting?
It didn't taste it wasn't like I was like, oh, I'm gonna lick this wall all day. It tastes amazing.
Yeah.
But it wasn't awful. And all that I cared was that it wasn't toxic, and I wasn't gonna kill myself licking fake blood.
Now you're working with Mark Waters, who directed Mean Girls, and then Daniel, who wrote Heather. So what were some of the things you learned from working these guys that just have had such successes like that?
It was amazing. It was one of the things that really drew me to the project in the first place. Because, you hear Vampire Academy, you're like, oh, another vampire film, and then you read it, and you're like, oh, okay, never mind. It's not just another vampire film. It's edgy, it's action-packed, it's sexy, and then there's Natalie, who's just this. But the thing that made me read it at first is because Daniel Waters wrote it and Mark Waters was attached to direct it. So it was, I'm such fans of theirs, and it was so amazing to I think the best acting class you can have is through experience and working with people who have been around forever. And so, well, not forever, I don't want to make them seem old, but it's just one of those things to where I really love working with people who know what they're doing and who have passions and goals in their lives.
And last but not least, I have to ask you what your favorite vampire story is of all time.
That's so hard. I'm a really big fan. I would say it's a tie between Vampire Academy and True Blood.
Okay.
I'm a huge fan
I'm down
of True
with that.
Blood.
I'm down with that. Cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.